So let's put the word grumple, grumple in our description and see if anyone understands what that is. um, yeah, I'll just leave it on that for now. We can have a look at our um, news as it comes up on The Guardian. I'm just hanging. I went to the ACOS webinar this morning on the changes to employment services models that's coming in the middle of the year. Like, no, they haven't sent it through yet, but things like they're going to just change it from a demerit system to a point system, and all these weird and wonderful things are going to happen, and apparently we're going to be better for it. So, you know, whatever that means. So, what did they say? 17 days to the election or something? I don't know. I can't get it anymore. It's on the 21st, so 16 days? Yeah, something like that. So, remember the Kyoto Agreement? And remember how we... Remember? I remember. You remember. I remember.
Yeah, remember Alex? Remember? Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Oh, I remember. Remember Slimy?
How could someone think these things are bugs?
How could you think they're bad? Okay, so they're starting to have some debates and things. Some people are actually going to them, like some of the some coalition types are going to the debates and things now, which is nice, even though they don't have anything to say, and you all assume that everything they're saying is still a lie. Like, what do we say? We've had a stronger border protection policy. Don't worry, both the Labor and Liberals are going to fuck over refugees, particularly if they're brown. It's just what we do. Right, explaining she doesn't have costings for a climate bill. But yeah, like I said, everyone doesn't need costings. The Greens are doing it. Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more Greens in so we'll actually have some effect. What else? Having a Barney over JobKeeper says not true. It doesn't debunk the fact that there was 38 billion that went to somewhere. That's fair enough. You're both highly skilled professionals, a voter says. Isn't the country better off if you keep your current job? Maybe. Maybe we should just give political jobs to the people who already don't have jobs. So you can't become a politician unless you don't have a job. So only unemployed people can get jobs. There's the policy for you. If only unemployed people can be employed, then that solves that problem, right? It solves your problem of people going from jumping into, like, jumping from a job to another job to another job to another job and keeping that advantage when, let's say, you have to have already quit your job in order to get a job. No, I know that's not going to work, but it's a thought. It's a thought. Just thinking. I'm just asking the questions. Ryan disagrees that Australia has a strong economy now. As a scientist, yep, it's an existential threat for us to see. They were saying like, what's it? How many minutes to midnight? Doomsday clock. Where are we up for that? There we go. It's 100 seconds to midnight. We're pretty damn close. We're gonna get there soon. And we're making it better every day. Better and closer every day. COVID summary. Alright, here's the latest coronavirus numbers from around Australia today. Deaths, New South Wales deaths. Oh yeah, the cases, 18,000. They said there was a whole backload of unreported cases. Hopefully that's not like a month's worth of nursing home ones again. I didn't actually read where they were from. They were just ones that hadn't been reported properly. So whether they're rat tests that just like didn't get uploaded properly or what, I don't know. But yeah, deaths 11. See, Queensland, I don't know how you feel about this because like New South Wales and Victoria have been having deaths the whole time, but that having that band-aid ripped off and then the deaths come, like Victoria, like WA having 10,000 cases and 6 deaths, starting from no cases at the start of the year. How do you go with that? Like how do you reconcile that? How do you reconcile that 6 deaths? Do you feel like you've had time to prepare? Like with all the resources and stuff there for you to be able to live without live with COVID, I mean, like, and to have it floating around the community. Have these deaths here, are they, yeah, what sort of deaths? I noticed that's the thing that came through this morning on Twitter. I noticed that the New South Wales Health, here we go, the respiratory surveillance report. The latest New South Wales respiratory surveillance report is now available with the flu and COVID data. So they're now, I mean, I guess like likely early start to the season. So reporting on that. I got my flu shot on Monday, spur of the moment thing while I was in town. I was walking past the chemist. It said they had the shots. I had an hour of, or nearly an hour spare because took a way early train in. But yeah, so I'm hoping that helps protect me. So epidemiological weeks ending 30th of April. A rate of people diagnosed with COVID. Just a sec. Thought I heard something, that's all. 83 COVID deaths reported this week. 7 of the deaths reported were in people under 65 years. So this may not have occurred in the influenza. Here we go. This is because, I mean, most of us don't pay attention to this, do we? In previous years, unless you're working with vulnerable population in aged care and the like, you may be not paying so much attention to influenza stats. So influenza activity in the community is increasing, so that's hospital lab surveillance. I mean, a lot of people, you don't get tested for the flu if you don't have the COVID. You're like, okay, I'm just sick, we'll see what happens. I reckon more people would be being tested for influenza itself. I mean, I don't think I'm wrong there. I assume there would be more people being tested for it with surveillance going on. Hail to the king. Abortion is a natural thing. It's normally legal in every developed country. Without question, only in the United States they keep whining about it. Totally, I agree on you. I agree on you. I think, I mean, it's only, and we've had lots of, I think Queensland still only recently legalised it not that long ago. So I'm here in Australia, and for us, for us, there was a huge conversation about it, about abortion back in early in 2000s with when Tony Abbott was the health minister and they were banning abortion, like abortion pills, that sort of stuff. So it's not this. I mean, it's a natural thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's something that people have performed procedures to abort fetuses since they figured out how to do it. I mean, it's not like they didn't have rudimentary abortion techniques back in caveman days or whatever. If they didn't want a baby, they'd find a way to deal with it. And like when you say, I mean, making abortion illegal, what does that do? That just stops the people who don't have the means to buy an illegal abortion to do it illegally, cheaply, on the sly, not going to a hospital if something goes wrong, more likely to have complications or unresolved complications, more likely to have long-term reproductive or death consequences. So it's not like you're going to stop them. I mean, but island abortions, like, people have always acquired abortions in Ireland, whether it's sneakily like doing a night trip to the UK or going to a boat offshore or, you know, anything like that. Like, they've always done it. It's just a matter of how legal and how supported people are in that process. So what about you, Hail to the King 43? What's your, have you got a background that this? Oh, now I'm thinking about my sore throat, sorry. That's the problem, you've got it too good in the US. That's why you argue against rights like that, because you've got it too good otherwise. I keep thinking, I mean, I got, as far as COVID, like, I'm sitting here, I'm going, oh, I've got a bit of a sore throat. I think it might be, I'm feeling like it might be dairy related. Like, you know, don't forget to have an orgasm today. Partner is optional, pleasure is not. Fair enough. Good call, my dear sister. I think in many cases your morality is deeply lacking if all you want is a child born but not a child. Here we go, this is relevant. Hail to the king. You feel you want is a child born but not a child fed, child educated, housed. That's pro life. That's not pro life, that's pro birth. Exactly. Exactly. And it's about patriarchal control. It's not about them. It's not about being able to feed and clothe this child, get them to school, and giving them a good life. It's not the whole, you know, what are you going to do? You're going to say, hey, yeah, all these Christians, are they around ready to adopt these kids? Is that going to happen? They're going to adopt them, foster them out, sponsor them, at least to go through school and education, that sort of thing. I doubt it. All right. Oh, put your finger. Oh wait, is that your finger? Okay. Gender equity. Ryan says the gender gap is real and significant. First thing for me is an absolute no-brainer is that a woman should receive superannuation applied to maternity leave. That's right. Anyone who's everyone's going to get superannuation soon. I think they actually did pass that law. That was one of their promises that they actually did pass was the getting rid of the $450 a month baseline before you had to be paid super. So that's good. I mean, anyone who's earning less than $450 a month will be getting less than $45 a month super. So good luck in retirement on that. But you know, you've got to start somewhere, and I mean, it means you've got an account. It means if you've got low pay, a period of low pay in your month, you're not going backwards on your superannuation. I mean, my superannuation took a recent dip with the damn stock market, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah. China, China, China. Why would a hung parliament be a bad thing? Why with coalition in power? One of the biggest issues of economic stability of government. Member?
The guys at work told me about them. Been taking them about 6 months now. I'm telling you, they really...
Remember the Julia Gillard government? Remember all the legislation they got passed? Remember all the amendments that and good things that the Greens helped got through at that time? Remember the Greens pushing for dental for kids? Remember that? We're gonna keep pushing for that. It's gonna be great. Push, 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 push. Come and chitter chatter. Push it. Yeah, we don't need like seriously the federal government that we've had for the last 10 years has mostly had majority or, well, actually, they've been clinging on to majority by holding on to certain backbenchers that really shouldn't be there anymore. And they didn't want to have by-elections, etc. So they were stifled by themselves. So unless you're going to say that oh, I wonder if I can do that. I reckon I can. Don't mind me. Don't mind me at all. What else have we got? We're gonna have an ICAC? You reckon? You reckon we're gonna have an ICAC? Because can you imagine if they do actually have one that, like, if they, if the LNP get back in and any of us are still alive to see that happen to, or I don't know, I'm just gonna blow up the internet or something. I don't know what we're gonna just give up on a few things if that happens. So, last election was 2019, right? And that was the first time I went through detox, and the only time I've actually done a proper hospital. I kind of did last time, but I was actually in a detox clinic, so a dedicated clinic to detoxing of drugs and alcohol. So, a hospital ward at Belmont Hospital. The time had come up, and I was like, oh, okay, because otherwise I would have been helping out with the election and stuff. So I was in the hospital on the day of election. So literally in a safe space when we found the result out, right? So I'm there literally looking at the screen in my little bed with my headphones on, going, oh, well, that's bad. I'm glad I'm not on the outside to try to then go and drown my sorrows, because I've just spent a week withdrawing from alcohol, so I don't want to go straight back into it right now. It was interesting, because I mean I'm used to going to do heading out whole votes at booths and pre-polls and stuff like that. I've been doing it for years, so it's not like I don't meet the public and hear their opinions and stuff. It was interesting because I had the little cart come through to get anyone who hadn't had a chance to vote before coming in, before being admitted to the ward to do their voting. And I was just like, they were like, oh, I'm going to vote for One Nation and things like that. And I'm like, seriously? Seriously? Okay. Good for you. Personally, blah, blah, blah. This is why I vote for the Greens and all this. But I'm like, okay. So I got more of an insight into some of the people there. But yeah. So yeah, I had the benefit of strong medications and being in the locked ward at night. So I won't have that this time. Admittedly, I'm 15 months sober now, so I'm not going to break that for the election. That would be dumb, because it would be very much, we'd have some moments like, you know, the chaos. I mean, I always go back to South Park, but, you know, when they're celebrating Obama's win and half the country is, or half of South Park anyway, half of South Park's killing themselves with celebrations and the other half's killing themselves with killing themselves. So, yeah. Controversial opinion, yeah, I think South Park and all the political stuff well. Sorry, I'm fussing. I am fussing. Yeah, so not looking forward to that shit going down. I don't like. Again, will we have read the landscape completely wrong if we do go ahead and see the LNP come back in? like, again, is it the inner city elites not really reading the room here and going, yeah, okay, if I can get just one one more seat in Melbourne, one more seat here, we're going to flip the whole scene, or is it or is it more the case that no, actually, that's not the mood of the nation. The nation still does have, they may not be voting for the LNP as their first preference, but they might be giving their first vote to someone else. So they, 25% of Greens preferences end up going to the Liberal Party because people still vote Greens, but then go, oh, actually, I prefer the Liberals and the Nationals over the Labor candidate for reasons. Unfortunately, we can't make you all vote for what we say. I mean, we encourage you to make your own choices, don't we? Oh, it's getting quite personal. Josh Frangway is repeating his story that candidate mother-in-law. Okay. My mother-in-law has been subjected to. Don't bring mothers-in-law into this. Seriously. My mother-in-law is staunch Labour. And. Lol. Toxic logo. Trey, is it? Is your name Trey? Says I have a funny accent. Lol. Thanks. I like to think of it as Australian accent. That's my Kiwi one. Do you have a funny accent, Toxic? Is it funny, haha, or funny, strange, or funny, you don't know where I'm from, that sort of thing? But yeah, so politics, I don't even know if my mother-in-law would vote for me, but she'd be voting for Labor. But I don't know if she'd. Interestingly, looking at how votes did play out in the council election and looking at which booths actually people gave me their first preference for, because that was on the ballot for West Ward Greens. So very much you have to actually deliberately be doing it to vote for me. So it was interesting. I got a couple from my old primary school and that sort of thing. So it's interesting to see who's looking out for you. Yeah. The French president. He knows you're a liar, Scott. Oh, NDIS, that's the one I want to read. Alright, can you reel out cuts on NDIS, healthcare, aged care? The way you support Medicare, now at $31.4 billion a year, the way you support the NDIS, the pension, record investment in aged care. We called the Royal Commission on Aged Care. Yeah, I called it and backed it up in a response totaling some $91 billion to actually address the serious issue. No, you haven't. You haven't addressed the issues of aged care. Why are so many old people still dying of neglect and bed sores and things that could have been picked up if you had trained staffing? Why are there aged care facilities that are failing every single benchmark? Why is that happening? You have a Southern California accent, Toxic Logo Trey. Southern California. I guess to me does that just sound American to me? Does it have a drawl? Do I picture someone with a tan. I'm thinking Californian accent to me sounds very American neutral, you know. While there's things like um that you guys make fun of in cartoons and like, so your Boston accent or things like that. So that, or a New York accent, or things like that, or what's her name, Natasha Leon with her cockroach. I mean, actual things like that would seem like accents to you guys too. So I'm thinking the California accent seems to be would be very much American neutral in my brain. Maybe, I don't know. There was this thing that oh, Mum likes to tell the story that she has Kiwi friends in the Swans, in the Sydney Swans football team. She goes down. She used to go down and watch their games. She hasn't really since COVID. That there's a bunch of Kiwis, and they thought she was Kiwi too. They thought definitely she's a New Zealand accent there, but she was just really tired, just chopping her vowels off like a Kiwi would. So, and that's something that they talked about back in the day when I was a linguistics student, undergrad, doing speech pathology, and yeah, so with the East Coast Australian accent progressing towards those more neutral vowels of a New Zealand accent going that way. But it's more complicated than that because New Zealand's got some quite complex vowels. It's not just the chopped off vowels. Some of their vowels are quite complex, and they've got triphthongs and the like. So very much goes between. Yeah, it's all very unique. It's funny. I have trouble. It's easier for me to read out Japanese if it's actually in hiragana, katakana, and if it's in romaji, the English letters, I find it harder to get the pronunciation right. So, you know how some people might say, so like things like it's san, like I might refer to you as toxic logo tray son. But if I'm reading it and then in English letters, I'll be like toxic logo train san. Toxic logo train. Trains. And that's something. I think Labor promised the high-speed rail early on in the election. Was that a thing? Was that a thing, or is that me imagining stuff? I think they've tried to promise high-speed rail early on in the piece. I'm sure the Greens has done something with the rail too. I just don't see it happening again. Just because there's been so many proposals and so many studies and so many just so many over the years. It's not like we're gotten anywhere with all the studies. I was watching it was actually the Liberal and Labor Party. There was a video on YouTube that I was watching a month or two ago by, I'm gonna say German, but definitely European. Definitely European. They're having a go at Australia's millions of proposals and studies and plans to do high speed rail on the east coast over the years, and how many more. Just Google it. But yeah, and how over the years it's just not got to the point of where they are. So they just we're never going to have it. We're never going to high speed rail. We're never going to get the infrastructure in place. It's not going to happen. We need to. We do need to revamp our regional rail systems to have better rail and be maintained and all that sort of stuff. Because if you make it, people will come, right? If you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will use it. If there's a regional rail network, it will be used, and it was being used until it kind of destroyed it, you know? Yeah, you know, that's what happened. Good old liberal national government. What's Labour gonna do? Ooh, it's a truck. So much red. Yeah, to be fair, we did get dental and Medicare, but it was only basic. Yeah, there's still plenty to go in terms of, and that's the whole thing with the Australian Medicare system. There's so much out-of-pocket costs. You can't just copay. It's illegal to just copay. You can't just go to your GP and them bulk bill you and you give them an extra $10-15 to make up the difference. That's illegal. That's against the laws that cover Medicare. And every time someone goes, oh, but my doctor does this, they bulk bill me, and then I just pay like $10-15 up front. I'm like, no, that's illegal. You have to pay up front. You might still end up paying the same money, but you have to have that $50 up front in order to get the $39 back and have a $12 gap there. I should get off this page because I think Kim's on it at the moment. So, yeah, but that's just how it works with Medicare in Australia. So that's why. Oh, look at that brie wheel with. Are you isolating again, Melissa? Oh dear. Anyway. What about childcare policy? Does that affect any of you? I mean, personally, it doesn't affect me. Oh, look, there's my sister. Doesn't affect me personally. Don't have kids. Not really affect my sister. I mean, she does family daycare, and there's some out-of-pocket stuff there too. But I don't know. What else? Oh, it's pretty. Vermont, USA. How pretty's that? That's pretty. That's not real. Little puppies. Oh, that was a great video I was watching about. Oh, wow. Pink. Now do that, but with jacarandas. Make it purple. I hate that I've got a pink layout on here. I need to edit it so it's purple. Them sirens for. It's beautiful. Tazzy, you gonna get it? Gonna cop it?
Australian Greens, through my colleague Senator Cox and I, acknowledge and hear the cries of our women and children. We hear the cries for systemic change to prevent any more black women or black children being murdered. Today we are proposing a motion which the Minister spoke about, and I might add that our conversations over the last 24 hours have been
Somber.
It's incredible how we can get stuff done in this place when people take the time to listen and to have the support of the government into an inquiry on missing and murdered Aboriginal women and children in this country is historic, I believe. And I want to thank the government, particularly the Minister, for listening and for acting on such an important issue that our women have been fighting for so long. Our women have the right to live their lives in safety, with full human dignity and free from all forms of violence, including family violence. So I pay my respects and I honour our women and the struggles and the trauma that they face every day. And I particularly honour those who've lost their lives. And after Senator Cox and I spoke to the Minister last night, we talked about women in our families who've been murdered, who've had no justice, because they weren't important enough for investigations to happen around.
Oh, how am I doing? It's a bit somber after that. I'm going to show you some more of Lydia's amazing work. Personally, doing all right. So, I'm actually home this afternoon, even though technically have groups still on this afternoon for DBT, but on Monday my basically said, I think we're pretty much done. I don't think you need to do this intensive therapy anymore. I think, there's things we can work on, around anxiety and that sort of stuff, but you don't need to do 3-hour group every week on top of individual sessions, on top of homework, all those sorts of things. I think what you need to be doing is going out there and living your life and applying this stuff, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing by going to meetings. This is what I'm doing by putting myself out there and doing this community panel for Ausgrid. That's what's happening when I go to a Greens meeting and actually speak up. I'm putting that stuff into action. It's not going to fix me, but I'm going to be able to express myself better, which I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do, is just trying to learn about myself and be myself, whoever that is. And so over the next 6 months, I think I'm going to spend time, I'm going to be doing things like helping my family, helping my sister out with her stuff, with the kids who need support, and fighting with Centrelink and the NDIS and all that sort of stuff. And also learning more about advocacy and policy and all those sorts of things that I know I can learn about. I just haven't. I've just been kind of just scooting along, and I think, I've got the capability to learn about it and to learn how to, but I want to learn how to argue it, how to help write it. I'm going to be, more capable of doing those things,
I look chubby.
Are we ready, brother?
We're ready.
All right, I'm down here in my old haunt, Collingwood, Johnson Street, and
Down at Tavares Lane.
Tavares Lane in Collingwood. Now, I'm with brother Joshua, who is going to explain this walk I'm about to do. I'm down here to talk to Mob about the selling off and the development of some very big apartments right on the grounds of the Wellington Street high-rise flats. These
And that's something too. I mean, as a white woman, I don't have any experience of, the black lived experience in Australia. And I need to learn more. I need to learn more about the history. I need to know more about how we fucked them up when we got here and cleared the land of people and destroyed the culture, and how we can do things to step back and to, give them their sovereignty back. Like, it was never ceded, but as we say, sovereignty's never ceded, but it hasn't been able to be exercised now, has it? If no one lets you, know your name, keep your history, keep your stories going. If you're caned for speaking your language, if you're worse, if you're ripped from your families, if, your families are punished for teaching your language and culture. Yeah. So, obviously, there's things I know about from my own experience, but not from their experiences, and I can't be in their shoes, but I can listen, I can learn and understand more. I need to find Indigenous creators here on Twitch and platform them and support them. It's a start. I'm trying over on Twitter. Twitter is my home. But yeah, just trying to be a part of, understand. How are you doing, Toxic Logo Tray? Pretty breaking news. Bum breathing Irwin's turtle detected in North Queensland for first time in 25 years. There we go. A bum breathing turtle is just the breather we all need right now. What's he look like? That's the bum breathing turtle. Thought for a sec that they were talking about Kim Kardashian, and I thought I was talking about Marilyn Monroe with all the M's that were in that sentence. So how Kim Kardashian wore Marilyn Monroe's Mr. President dress for the at the Met Gala. That was it. How well, it didn't fit her, did it? Well, yeah, Kim's known for having quite the arse, so it's not like she's gonna fit straight into it. Yeah, the dress was incredibly tight for herself. I know people go like, oh, Marilyn Monroe was fat. Marilyn Monroe was not fat. she just wasn't a twig, but she's definitely not fat. Uh, Can change into a replica after the red carpet. Well, that's fair enough. I wouldn't. I don't think she should. I wouldn't be able to actually wear that for hours on end. You're here. How you doing? You're here. You subsisting, existing. Yeah, but she wasn't fat. People go. And they talk about how Marilyn Monroe was big. She wasn't big. But yeah, maybe she was. She's one of the first stars to actually have a bum and thighs. Isn't that nice? I need more of that. I mean, we do have more of that now. So, but the fact that Kimmy felt she was going to do this, it's interesting. I mean, she does. I mean, that's her life. She can choose to lose 8 kilos, 10 kilos to fit into a dress, but and the other reason, I mean, she can do that because that's all she does is whatever she needs to do, wants to do for her look, right? It's not like she was told to lose. Well, the old days with actors were losing hundreds of kilos, not hundreds of kilos, as a fake body. I suppose if Kim Kardashian has a fake body, as you say, you can't really. Well, she couldn't really lose. Like, what does she have? Bum implants, breast implants. You couldn't really lose anything from that, can you? If there's a bit of filler in there, you know. I mean, as always. See, things like this is your nice little waif style, isn't it? But it's more forgiving. Like, for all we know, who's that? Was that? Who's that? Emma Stone. Oh yeah, Emma Stone. Okay, but yeah, she's the implant. Well, if Kim Kardashian's got implants, she can't diet them away now, can she? She's stuck with them. So it was a losing battle as it was to try to fit into this dress for one night only. Olivia Drew. I was like, who's that? Is that Maine? Oh, I'm sure she got her hair back straight after that. So with Olivia Rodrigo. So everyone says she's fake, like that she's making it up when she's doing her music and stuff, and like, so it's all just an act, isn't it? She can make up experiences, or she can use real experiences for her music. Who cares? Oh, there's a hat. Sarah Jessica Parker. She's got more of that Marilyn Monroe skirt thing going though, doesn't she? You know. So what she's doing the other Marilyn Monroe skirt there, whereas yeah. Anyway, I can comment all I want on their bodies. I just roll with it with my own chubbiness. hopefully my GP will actually get it right next time and cut down my medication when I ask them to. Because I requested to get my nighttime meds halved, so 100 milligrams of quetiapine, Seroquel is what I'm taking at night at the moment, but I want to cut that back because, I mean, it's working more than well enough. Hey, Maxie! It's working more than well enough, isn't it? It's knocking me out very quickly, and I don't necessarily need that level of sedation anymore, so I want to cut it back, but I went to the GP. I didn't go to the GP. It's still over the phone, and it's still all over the phone, and yeah. What was I saying? Oh, because yeah, it's still over the phone, so I'm always flustered when it's telehealth, and you only get 5 minutes with them on the phone. I mean, if you get them 5 minutes in person, they can. I don't know. It's still easier, and I should try to get my next GP appointment in person. But yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, so I asked them to have my nighttime dose, and when I got the Webster pack this time, so my meds pack with it's still got the full dose there for nighttime, and that's just not what I asked for. I also got the letter from the pharmacy telling me I had a script going for the Lovan, so none of the message from last appointment went across to the GP, so that's disappointing because, I had the appointment, I asked for these things, they said they'd do it, and they didn't. And now I have to wait, and I don't have an appointment till after the election, so I don't have an appointment till after the 24th, so I'll ask again then, or no, demand again then, state very clearly that I need that done, and because the other thing I'm going to do is get my anti-abuse added in as a private prescription, so rather than going to the hospital every week to get it, because it's going back to weekly face-to-face groups. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get this packed in my Websters, take it every day, take control of it myself going forward. And, well, I don't know. And then the other thing I'll need to do is get a mental health care plan so that I can get a private psychologist if I'm going to stop seeing this one at the hospital. And yeah, I don't know. I'm toing and froing about whether I should. Like right now, am I stuffing everything up by not going to that group today? It's not like I'm missing content. I've done it before. I've done that content before. Several times. But am I losing momentum? Am I going to mess this up? Am I going to mess it up as soon as they stop holding my hand? You know? Let's change back to just chatting, hey? Politics isn't quite relevant anymore. Just musing about myself, self-obsessed a bit, maybe. Could play a game. But I don't have any that run really well on my computer at the moment. Amber berries. Wonder who's around. No one good. Splish splash. Do you take THC or CBD? No. My partner's a smoker, but I've never. I'm a shit smoker. In general, I can't smoke anything to save myself. Basically, every time I throw up, regardless of what it is, I'm not. Yeah, so no. I wish it was like. I don't know. I assume you do. Got some friends who take it legally, who have legal prescriptions for it, but it's not very big here, and it costs the same whether you get it over the counter or you get it from a dealer. So there's no real incentive for some people to go for it. And there's not, I mean, CBD's getting a bit more commonplace, I guess, oils and stuff, but still, again, it's not the easiest thing to get across. You still have a lot of doctors that won't prescribe, a lot of places that don't sell. It's not technically not legalized here. It's only slightly legalized for some uses. Yeah, so I'm not against it or anything. I fully support legalization, decriminalisation, legalisation, all those things for both medical and recreational use. I don't see why. I don't see why it shouldn't be legal and should be fairly grown by anyone who wants to. Like, yeah. I Yeah, I mean, I've taken edibles and stuff in the past, but I wouldn't mind if I had access to things like gummies. That'd be way better than having to cook my own can of butter and all those levels of. All those levels. I just want things to be easy. I just want life to be easy. I just want access to things people need to be easy. I want people to be able to afford what they need. I want Okay, I've just gotten my homework through from let's pop that back up. Just got my homework through from the hospital from the group I didn't go to. So complete one mindful workshop, 2B core skills practice. Practice each skill twice. Describe your experiences. List the wise things you do. Use the handouts for ideas. So that's that one. have less core skill practices, so do some wise mind, observing, describing, participating. Yeah, did that a few weeks ago. So, I mean, at least I've still got the homework, even if I don't know if I'm going to keep going. We'll see what happens. We'll see how we go. I don't think I will keep going. It feels like such a... I feel like I could be using my time better. I feel like I could be using my time better for myself. And not just because I feel like I should be doing other things, or should be doing this, or should be doing that. But, yeah. Dog's crying. Oh, there was just 55,000 cases diagnosed today of COVID. That's alright. This is fine. This is fine. Other drugs. I mean, I haven't really. I think I've taken acid once. Maybe. Something like that. I don't know. I quite like Xanax and I like Xanax and find it quite calming, quite easy to take. Chills me out, doesn't knock me out or anything, which is nice. Unlike say taking prescription. What's the words I'm after? I'm after the words. After the words. I'm after the words. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm thinking. Whatever. My brain's still working. It's nearly 4 o'clock, seriously. I can't do too much till today, can I? Oh, that was a funny moment I had this morning. It wasn't funny. It was a moment. My our friend came over to show us a car on Gumtree that was for sale as Subaru that had a dodgy engine and was being sold for like $500, and just didn't want to be in that conversation. I just felt myself sitting there going, I just want this to be over. And the intensity of being in this one-on-one situation was feeling just too much, and I just was getting really uncomfortable, and yeah, I don't know, I think that's part of my autistic interaction side. The whole, like, it's not apparent most of the time. Like, it's not apparent when I'm performing. Like, if, like, not here, this isn't, I don't even know what this is. But, you know, if I'm at a meeting or a political thing or something, I've got a certain hat on and I'm performing, and I don't have to feel that discomfort because I'm out and being someone else, being whatever that character I need to be for that situation. Unlike when I'm in my home, which is where I am, which is where I was this morning when friends come over and I'm in my home and I'm very much in my own space being myself, but this other person's come into my space. And I have to figure out what to do with that and how I work with that. Yeah. Interesting. I've learned a lot about myself in the last year. It's been great. Yeah, just to keep it up, not feel bad about anything I do. I don't think anything I do is bad. Not really. I just still need to work a bit on that shame reaction. Like, if something isn't how I thought it would be, feeling shame about how that's come to be, feeling like it's my fault, feeling like I should be different, I'm not the right person. Not for a situation or for a job, but I'm just not the right person. I'm not right as a person. Feeling like I should be different. At least I'm glad they sent me the homework though, because we've only just moved to face-to-face groups after 6 months just doing online dialectical behaviour therapy. So it's still an adjustment period in terms of the group. I guess another thing I was doing today by not going was seeing how it felt to have that space in my day. Like this morning, I went to the ACOS presentation on the new employment services models. So that was, an hour or so of information and thinking and listening and learning, and also a bit of participating. Although I didn't talk, I did participate in their word maps and stuff, but whatever. And what got me in the chat. But yeah, so it was just seeing how I felt without that time. It was nice, really nice to be home for lunch. For when my partner came home for lunch, to be able to make him his lunch and stuff. Because normally, like on a Thursday, I've been either busy from 1 when the group started, so I've been attached to my computer, had to shut the door, couldn't actually see him, that sort of stuff when he came home from work. Or I'd be, like last week, I was out from at least from before midday, and because I had to drive into town and back, and wasn't home till heading on to 5, and yeah, it's nice to have that time back. We'll see how I feel on Monday, but I'm still working through my pros and cons of continuing therapy, my whether, so, which one? Not that one. That one? Pros and cons on working on therapy. So, like, what's the pros of stopping therapy? What's the pros of not stopping therapy? What's the cons of stopping therapy, and what's the cons of not stopping therapy? So, like, the pros of stopping therapy is I have achieved a lot, so that's not a pros, that's a reason to. That goes more on my wise mind sheet, but I have time to work on other things, work towards my other goals. To yeah, to I don't know yet. I don't have to figure it out, but I want to do more workshops like today and last night. So last night was the one with who was it? Anti-Poverty Centre. So Kristen, is it Kristen or Kirsten? I always get this wrong. Let's look it up. So Kristen from the Anti-Poverty Centre. So she and Jay and I guess Mel was in the background and running a thing about what their proposals are for changing the future of everything. But yeah, I was inspired by that, so that was good. And I'm just tapping into different things. Like I went to the local Brown City Australian Conservation Centre. I went to one of their online meetings the other week just to see what the people were like, just to see if that was a place I wanted to spend time in. Yeah, it's like with the Greens. I mean, I don't know how involved I'll be after the election until the next election. I have to figure out what that looks like for me. Whether I mean, I'll probably still if it's monthly meetings and stuff, I'll still do them. And try to be a part of that. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like because I haven't really been involved with them with the Greens or anything outside of an election season. So I'd see if I can keep up going to meetings in the second half of the year and yeah, see if that's a place for me. See if it's a safe place for me. So yeah, I'm thinking I should take another COVID test. I've got them all here. I mean, I got a new pack of them come the other day with my chemist order. I don't know. I don't know. I'm also trying to figure out if I actually am feeling sick or not. And more people have got it. Have you had COVID? Anyone in the chat? Have you had COVID? I had it at start of February, early February. I was down for a couple of weeks for the start of February. After having the 2 shots last year, 2 AstraZeneca shots last year. I was pretty much due for my booster when I got it, so that pushed that back a little bit. Yeah. The worst thing about being home is I eat too much chocolate, too much crap. I need to, I don't know, get more food. Not food, I need to have more snacks on hand that are satisfying but low calorie, that are, I don't know, maybe I need to get back into rice cakes because they're crunchy. Do I need to get back into rice cakes? Does anyone need to get into rice cakes? Or maybe I just need to not eat and have, some self-control for a change, girl. Okay, never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah. I just look pained, don't I? Just all the time, I just look like I'm in pain. Like, I'm not in pain. I mean, I've got a headache. I should have Panadol. Last couple of these paracetamols from the jar. Acetaminophen. Alright, I'm gonna go fill up my bottles. Get a fresh Diet Coke. I will be right back. Hey boy. You're a good boy, Maxie. Might get a little loo as well, hey? Hello, boy. You're a good boy. Remember, Daddy's coming home. Go wait for him? Go wait for Daddy? Lol, probably should have muted that. Mute my mic. A lot of sirens around out there. So one thing, a friend suggested on Twitter that I see a career counsellor. Like, career counselling Newcastle, that's what we need. Career guidance solutions. 8 best career counsellors in Newcastle, New South Wales. Career counselling. Maybe, I don't know, should I get with the desk consultant? I don't know. Training, mentoring. I mean, I like WEA. WEA is where I'm doing my Japanese course through. So it's basically the place that does night courses. What else have we got? Career services for current students in the Newcastle. I wonder if they got. Let's have a look what they've got for not current services. Current and past students. I'm a past student in the University of Newcastle. Career service consultations for current and past students. When you meet the employee with the past. Please indicate what you would like to discuss. Alright, looks like I can notifications. Free short consult as a past student through Newcastle Uni. Interesting. Things you can Google. Adam Bant was right. Just Google it. Just Google everything. Why would anyone just up again? I posted my Beamit link there. Just in reply to a Beamit thing. Who is this person, Tenchi? That's a genuine Twitter moment, bro. I don't know, because they like me. I don't know. Oh, okay. He follows Queen Victoria. That's a thing. Ooh, do I have a career? Welcome with Newcastle Uni. You can also connect us with LinkedIn. Okay, I'm going to figure out, see if there's anything what I can do there. Help to craft your LinkedIn profile. Did that say I could just email them? TAFE New South Wales career advice to see if I want to go study through TAFE or careers. Hunter and Central Coast. I don't care which count. Which, I don't know. Hunter Street. Clarify your career goals. Obstacles to courses. You're not enrolled, but you can still. There's usually a fee for that service. That's okay. I think what I should do is maybe hook up with the maybe hook up with the employment people. I'll talk to my therapist on Monday. Because Wally's right on that I don't need to do the whole thing anymore, like the whole shenanigans, the whole shebang of doing what? Intense DBT in order to keep moving towards. Oh, let's look at that sky out there. That's cool. Sorry, it looks like a really cold sky tonight. I think it is going to be cold tonight. I think it is. I think it is going to be cold. Yeah, it's going to be 5 degrees overnight. 9 degrees. It's going to be cold. Brr, I'm glad we got our fancy doona. Oh, I got my fancy doona. It's going to be cold overnight. gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold overnight. Maybe I should start turning the house up. Or put the oven on. What do we have for dinner? What are we gonna have for dinner? Let's have a look, eh? Golden chicken and roast veggie tossed with garlic yogurt. That looks nice. That involves putting the oven on. Like, you know, this looks pretty nice. Nice rainbow veggies there. Veggie toss with garlic yogurt. I really do like this one. And it's a good excuse to put the oven on tonight. Do a tray bake of the veggies. Fry up some chicken. I mean, what else is there? I don't know. There's other ones, but I think get the chicken done. Do the chicken tonight. I feel like chicken tonight. Like chicken tonight. Hot dogs are my dogs. Oh, I like subscription boxes. I wish I could bring myself to spend like $30-40. Oh, that's it. That's the rain. That's the rain. Starting up again. Ah. Let's finish it. Let's finish it. What if we... Do you think we should raid out somewhere? I'm like, you should always raid out, Fiona. I'm like, yeah, but I've got no friends. Like, if we have a look over on Twitch, see if there's anyone cool around. I mean, I can always go, I mean, there's always going back to Rin's stream. Rin's stream's always good, but I feel bad heading over there if I don't have any, raid friends to be. So is there anyone here? Well, I've got one viewer. I mean, it'll be like, dude, I just feel like such a dork. Oops, don't do that. Reopen, close tab. Like I feel like such a dork if I just like, and I did mate you yesterday. Anyone else? I don't know. I don't know. I wish someone else was on, but I don't know. Oh, let's have a look at this email. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stop. It looks like it might be hailing anytime soon, so we're just going to end. We're just going to end our raid and our thing here. Stream ending soon. I'm going to go shut the house up.